What up, book lovers? Oh my goodness, my god. It is G-Swizzel here, and I am here today with a book haul. Okay, here's the explanation for this book haul. I went to two places like TeenCon, and also, I'm gonna be real, I wasn't doing the best because of BP, and it wasn't great, so I kind of stress bought as well. But you know what? I got through it. I got through the season, so I decided to do a book haul of everything I got while I was away. I also forgot to mention that I collected a couple of Funko Pops as well, so I'm going to start off with those in the video. Before I start off with the Funko Pops, I just want to mention that one of my amazing youth girls got me these little itty bitties, and they're so cute. I have Captain America and Iron Man, and they are so great, and I have them on my shelf usually, and they're just adorable. Thank you so much, Leah, for getting me these. They're so cute, and my baby sister keeps on stealing them. So annoying, but I love them so much. On to the Funko Pops. So on the day of TeenCon, I bought the Hulk Funko Pop, which is in the Age of Ultron line. Now, I really got him because I have Natasha Romanoff on my shelf, and I need to have the ship. I will go down with the ship. I also love Bruce Banner. I also love Mark Ruffalo, the guy that plays him. I had to get the Hulk because I just love the Hulk. He still looks muscular, but he's just so cute. The next Funko I got is Bucky. I love Bucky so much, and Sebastian Stan is bae. I cannot stress it enough, like, Sebastian Stan is just perfection. He is in the Civil War line. He just looks like the perfect Winter Soldier. Next Funko Pop I have is the Black Panther unmasked. You usually find him masked, but I found the rare Funko Pop where he was not masked, which was amazing. I really do love Black Panther, and oh my goodness, he just steals the show in Civil War, and I'm so excited for his own movie. I love Black Panther. He's amazing. The final Funko Pop that I got here, I didn't actually get. My youth girls got for me. It's not actually a full-size Funko Pop. It is a Funko keychain. Little dancing Groot, and I keep him next to my big Groot there on the shelf, and he is adorable. If my house was to go on fire, and if I could save one Funko Pop, it would be this one. Honestly, it means so much to me. My girls were just like so supportive through my journey with Bell's palsy, and I appreciate them so much. They know I adore Groot. This Funko Pop is probably my favorite. Now, let's get on to the books. Before I went to TeenCon, I got to hang out with some awesome, amazing people, and we went to bookstores beforehand. I decided for my book purchase, I would pick up Snow Like Ashes by Sarah Rush. They had the hardcover of this in an Australian bookstore. That is a rare find these days, guys. I don't know too much about this, but the fact that there's a kingdom that is in I think an eternal winter. People compare it to Throne of Glass a lot, but it's very underhyped. So I definitely do want to pick this up, and I know that Kathleen at For the Love of Books has just read this, and she says it is amazing. So I definitely want to pick this up. Now we come to the free books that I collected at TeenCon. So the first book that I saw in my goodie bag was Lady Helen and the Dark Days Club by Alison Goodman. Internationally, it is known as the Dark Days Club. I'm actually reading this month. This is the Render Reads pick of the month, so I'm definitely excited to get to read this one. Next book in my bag was In Between Days by Vicky Wakefield. I do not know anything about this book. I've read the synopsis, and I'm just like, okay, looks like a cutesy little contemporary. Eventually, I will read it, I guess. The next book I have on here is an arc of First Life by Gina Showalter. If you don't know who Gina Showalter is, she's the author of Alice in Zombieland, and this is a new book, I think, in a series. It's pretty much about the afterlife and the two places you go in the afterlife. That premise sounds pretty intriguing. And the last book that was actually in my bag, Row by Alan Chabat. I don't know too many things about this one except the fact that it has to do with ethnic teenagers. My sister is screaming like crazy. I'm so sorry if you hear her in the background. Here we go. I don't know too much about this other than the fact that it is written by an Australian author, and it is about ethnic teenagers and ethnic circles, and I am so appreciative of that, because me, as a Lebanese woman, I just appreciate it when people just appreciate different ethnic groups. Like, that's just awesome. I was so tempted to swap with somebody at first. Fave, stop screaming! I'm actually pretty happy that I kept it. And the next two books are books that I exchanged with another person so that I could have and that they could have the one that came in my goodie bag. I got Magnus Chase and the Gods of Asgard in my goodie bag, but I swapped it for Raylia by Lynette Noni. This is actually the sequel to her book called Akarne. I don't actually have the first book yet. I already had Magnus Chase, so I'm happy that I swapped it. I'm really happy to have the sequel to Akarne, and I will probably be picking picking up a Kane soon. Last book I got from Teen Con, I swapped it for the Penguin Superproof. It was samples of books that Penguin was gonna come out with in 2016, but I already have a Superproof. My friend already had this book, so she gave it to me. Zeros by Scott Westerfeld. I wanted to buy this when it first came out, but I'm so happy I didn't because I have a physical copy now. I saved money, guys. I hear it is about some kids with these super abilities, but they're not the best super abilities. Next book that I have on here was an arc that my workplace had on one of our lunchroom tables. They give out free arcs sometimes, but it's a Christian bookstore, so a lot of the arcs are self-help ones, but I found a fiction one from an author that I've heard of before. It is Guilt Hollow by Lori Langdon. If you don't know who Lori Langdon is, she's the co-author of the series Dune. I think that it is a mystery or a thriller or something like that. I'm not too sure. I don't know too much about it, but I decided to pick it up because why not? It was a free book. May as well read it before it comes out eventually. I don't even know when it comes out, but hey, yeah, free book. Woo! And the next books are stress buys because I had Bell's palsy and I was very stressed out about it. So yeah, let's get started with that. This Shattered World and Their Fractured Light by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. These are the two sequels to These Broken Stars, and I haven't even read the first one, dang it, but it is a companion series that takes place in space. It is sci-fi, and it's pretty much 3 different survival stories, and they all intertwine in some sort of way. I haven't really read a companion series like this before, but hopefully I will not have trouble with this series, and hopefully I will be compelled and excited to read this. I'm really excited to get into this sci-fi universe. The next book that I picked up was The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. Now this book is going to be adapted into a movie, and I don't know too much about the synopsis. I have watched the trailer though. Apparently, you do not need to know too much about this book before going into it. It's a psychological thriller that unfolds as the book goes on. I love the red pages. Next books that I got was a trilogy, and it was the Fifth Wave trilogy by Rick Yancey. I binge read these last 2 books this month, absolutely enjoyed it. But I had the movie cover edition of the Fifth Wave, so I decided to get all 3 together so that they would match. The next 2 books I got were a part of a series, and I got these on my gift card. The Isle of the Lost and Return to the Isle of the Lost by Melissa De La Cruz. This is the prequel to the movie The Descendants, and this is the sequel to the movie. So you have to read this before you watch the movie, and you have to read this after you watch the movie. It pretty much follows the kids of some Disney villains, which is freaking awesome. And I've really wanted to read The Isle of the Lost for the longest time because I definitely want to watch The Descendants, but I definitely want to get the full experience, so I really did want to read the first book. But then when I found out that they were having a sequel come out, I was like, I may as well get both, okay? And of course, being the Marvel fan that I am, I had to get Black Widow Forever Read by Margaret Stoll. This is a part of the Marvel canon. I'd already read it and discussed it in my June wrap-up part 2, so if you haven't seen that yet, go check that out. I love the cover. Oh my goodness, like under the dust jacket, there's like a little symbol. I love it. And the font, it's great. Marvel, you've done so well with this publishing. I'm proud of you. And guys, I finally got The Raven King by Maggie Stiefvater. I did listen to this one on audiobook when it came out because I didn't want to get spoiled. I have the physical edition. It took you long enough, Australian publishers. What the heck, man? You told us 2 days after the release date that it was going to come out later, and I'm not happy with that, especially when the bookstores said that it was going to come out on the 26th. Bookstores, you tell us earlier, you tell us on your website that it is coming later, okay? I've had enough beef with you guys already. But it is so pretty. Oh my goodness, like this is the prettiest cover ever. And of course I had to get The Crown by Kira Cass, the conclusion to the Selection series. I overall did enjoy this one as well. I'm not too sure whether I like this cover or the Heirs cover better, but overall it still looks pretty on my shelf. Love it. The next book I got, I had to get it, like especially because I was on my Rick Riordan kick. The Trials of Apollo by Rick Riordan. Oh my goodness, this book, so good. Perfection. I loved it a lot. Yeah, definitely pick it up. Why am I speaking so spaced out? So I was at a bookstore that I regularly go to, and they were clearing out a lot of books. Because I was buying Trials of Apollo, the person at the register was like, hey, because you like Rick Riordan, you get a free book. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. So I got Brother Band by John Flanagan, The Outcasts. I haven't heard too much of this book on BookTube, but every single time that I see kids in year 5 or year 6 go to the bookstore or on public transport or on the way to school, they're either reading Harry Potter, Rick Riordan, or John Flanagan. It makes the bestsellers in the children's department, usually in Australian bookstores, so I definitely want to try this out one time, see how it goes. The next book that I got was Amazing, Fantastic, Incredible by Stan Lee, Mr. Stan Lee himself. This is a graphic memoir of Stan Lee's life under the dust jacket. Oh my goodness, it's like, oh my gosh! My Marvel fangirl side always comes out when I look under the dust jacket. If you don't know who Stan Lee is, he is the writer of a lot of the Marvel comics. And if you watch some of the Marvel movies, you'll see that he makes cameos in them like all the time. I love Stan Lee so much. Like, he's just an amazing, encouraging guy, and I'm really excited to get to read this graphic memoir soon. And the last few books I have are graphic novels. Volumes 1 to 5 of the Amulet graphic novel series by Kazu Kibushi. I have read the first 2 out of the 5 that I have. There are 7 in total, but I could only afford to buy 5 at the time. Stress buy. It is so good so far. It is so action-packed. I definitely recommend it from what I've read so far, but I'm really excited to continue on with the series. Art style is amazing. That is going to be it for this video today, book lovers. Follow me on my social medias. I'm at G-Swizzel Books on Twitter and Instagram, and I'm also at Goodreads. That's www.goodreads.com/G-Swizzel. I love you, book lovers, and I will see you later. Peace.